Hour 2 Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Bryan Hayes, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan, and our boy Luke Willson of Team Owen Wilson, also known as Yokozuna in studio.
Yokozuna, what is this?
You're Yokozuna, and I'm the Undertaker pulling you into the coffin because I'm alive.
That's ridiculous.
I am alive.
Oh, dog, hear me out.
I'm alive.
We've had 8 picks, dog. We're 7-1. We get jammed up by an abomination at the end of the game by the Vikings. And all of a sudden now we're the Titanic. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That to me sounds a lot like a guy that was not a professional athlete, and he wins one game, and he's still storming the beach with a canoe, and he has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, I'll be fine. Don't you worry. I think
you're 500.
What's wrong with that?
It's not good.
That's totally applicable through 2 miles of a 26-mile race. I mentioned
what about
the
text he sent? What about the text he sent? Did you know what it meant, Luke, when he texted PHUR? R.
I have no idea.
Now, listen to what it is. Listen to what fur means to him. Listen. Go ahead, do it, Hayes.
He sent the sound to you.
That's the noise that he thought he was texting.
I was sending you a sound that basically means you guys are losers, and this is it. When someone says something they think is funny that's not funny, you go, and that's what I was sending you. And the way he spelled that is PH. Yeah, he spelled it PHURRRRR.
I thought it was an inside joke. I was on the outside of him.
No, you're both in on it, man. I'm telling you, it's.
So let me get this straight. You feel good?
Oh, I feel great
because we're 7-1.
Yeah,
in year 500.
Correction. I'm 3-0-1 in my last 4, and. The push was Carolina getting a freebie from New Orleans. New Orleans was being charitable. So I am starting to see the board. Like I said, this is a marathon. You guys are at the front of the race like losers, trying to get pictures and videos, understanding that everyone's going to show the start of the race. I'm the guy about halfway back saying, you guys can do whatever you want.
Right.
I will find a way to get to the finish line first. And I will. I don't care if I got to take a cab,
I think it'll
bus,
be the opposite. I mean, clearly, it's pretty obvious at this point that the grappler is giving you all the layups. That's pretty obvious. Even tonight, you've got the layup.
Well,
but you'll still find a way to mess that up.
No,
you think so?
I'm not worried about tonight. You want to get to the picks quick before we get to other stuff? We can do that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going to waste any time. I'm on the Eagles tonight. I think the line is what, 5.5 still?
I wish I could make that noise. How does it go again?
I'll teach you in the break. I'll teach you in the break. This screams Buffalo, Washington vibes. Washington was 2-0. They're at home. They're feeling good. Buffalo goes down there, absolutely smacks them around. Tampa's 2-0. They're at home. They're feeling good. I don't think the Eagles love their first 2 games. They're still 2-0. I think they absolutely spanked Tampa tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I definitely would have won with the Eagles. But that being said, we got some hope for a backdoor cover because here's where I'm thinking. Baker has looked solid. Am I a huge Baker Mayfield guy? Absolutely not. I want to put that on the record. But this secondary for the Eagles has been subpar. Mm-hmm. Right now, the D-line for the Eagles is disgustingly good, arguably the most balanced in the league. So where I see this thing going is, okay, the Eagles get up a little bit. You know they love their run game. We're running the ball, killing the clock.
Yeah.
Baker gets a couple garbage TDs late, ends up throwing for 270, a couple 50-50 balls to Mike Evans. He comes down with one. Next thing you know, they're up 11. Oh, we score a touchdown with 30 seconds left. We go for 2. The Eagles win. They don't get the onside kick. The Eagles win by 3, and we're asking if the Eagles are the real deal.
Okay.
And you've lost another game.
No, I'm not too worried about that. I've
got a bit of a Giants going out to San Fran vibe with that ask. Mm-hmm. It's just like you see it happening, and then once the game gets started and they get pummeled, you're like, yeah, that was never happening. But I do like where your head's at.
Yeah. Listen, it's possible. To their credit, they've been good. Baker's been good. I just think Philly looks at Dallas losing yesterday. I think that helps them tonight. They're like, all right, let's
come in the water.
Take advantage of this division right now. They understand what the Niners are doing on the other coast. I think Philly shows up tonight. The question tonight, though, is not about that game. Rams at Bengals. Bengals are laying 3, but no one knows if Joe Burrow's playing. That is your
Joe
game.
Burrow is playing.
You don't care if Joe Burrow's playing.
Pardsy, before you make the selection,
Yeah.
please give me this salute like Pardsy's do. Okay, go ahead.
We're on the Rams. No
You're
matter
on the
who
Rams.
plays.
Even,
100%.
even if Burrow plays tonight.
How can you be surprised about that? Joe Burrow threw for 82 yards week one. He had 39 in the first half of the second game. The Rams came out and wiped the Seahawks week one and played who I think is right now the best team in the NFL, the Niners, extremely tough for at least 3 quarters and some change. And now you're going to sit here and tell me that Joe Burrow, who's looked brutal, and just to add on to that, if he does play, has self-said, and he said in his interview at the end, like, miss camp, don't have all the reps. He would have been limited all week in practice. And you have a team with a poor offensive line in the Bengals, and Aaron Donald, through 2 games, has just ripped everybody's face off. And Matt Stafford's back. I'm going with the Rams straight up, let alone getting points. It's not even a hard
Rams
question.
money line. Let me paint a picture for you two.
Oh, please do.
Bengals going 0-3 at home with Burrow playing tonight. I just don't see it happening.
He is the X factor.
I just don't see it
scary.
happening.
It's a scary
Hold on.
X factor.
I thought
terrifying.
you were going to just have one reaction to their pick.
I'm willing to do that all season. Put that on a loop, JP.
I mean, can we just talk about this 2-0 dog? Because when this week's done, we got jammed up by Kirk Cousins, which we'll get into in a sec.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that happened in the game. We have the Dogs last night on a money line.
That was a
Smack
layup.
that.
Layup.
What an unbelievable call by Team Owen Wilson. And now tonight, we're going with Dogs again. This team, Owen Wilson, we grind for our wins.
you
That's
do.
what we do.
That's right. Give him the horn. Give Hazy the horn, JP. Do we have it? Come on. Give it to him.
Get that on a loop, JP.
You got to record the whatever sound.
Me getting hit with my own will be very difficult to chew on. But I'll take it if I have. Listen, I've been riding favorites. I'll admit that. I have been riding favorites, but they've been coming in hot for me. And I'm on the favorites again tonight. You know, I like dogs. I'll chase a dog, but
I've got a question. Kirk Cousins jamming up. Like, where are you at with him? Because he's an analytical darling.
He is. And this is where I just get so confused, Noodles.
I like him.
I actually love the guy until these like strange moments, and I'll give you like a prime example. So yesterday, I thought he was playing incredible. I mean, he's thrown for 3. I think he's got 1,000 yards. After 3 games, like it's stupid.
Yeah.
You go down there, and I'm watching, and you're gonna laugh at this, but I'm on the CTV show, and I'm watching the game during the commercials because I'm like, I need this one. I need this one for the team, you know. So I'm doing the whole double take. He's rolling down the field. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
He's going to do it. We're going to cover. I'm going to be laughing. You know, FaceTime's going to be blowing up.
yeah.
We get down there. They convert the 4th down. I think there's like 26 seconds or so, and this is where I think Kirk struggles.
Let me just put
Why
this
did
in
they not
Cole's
spike
notes
the ball,
for you.
or what
This
did
is
they-
what he did. He grabbed a
Exactly.
dude
Why did they
wipe
kill a bunch of
with
time? What was
Owen
going
Wilson
on there?
it, and he wiped his rear end with his dude wipe. That's what he did.
So, and this is where my head explodes with him because he's an incredible quarterback at a lot of things. And I read the article today because, like you said, Doodles, I'm watching it. I'm like, the clock's ticking. The clock's ticking. Like, we got to go. We got to
Why
go.
are they
We got to
not
go.
yelling at him?
And he was holding his ears, and they said today that they had a problem with crowd noise there at home. They said it was too loud.
It's at home and it's too loud?
But
Amateur
here's my
hour.
next thing, though. Even if it's super loud, in those moments, and this is where I'm like, is this Kirk? Is this a coach? Is it a combination? They're one-word plays. Like, if we're in a 2-minute drive and I'm here on the field with Russ, they're literally like, and you need to have these memorized. If you're going to play in 2-minute, it's like, I'll just say some others. Indy, I knew exactly. Russ looks at me, says Indy, and there's signals. I know exactly what the play is. I know the formation. Again, we only have about 12 of them. Daytona was a similar play, but now 3-by-1. If he wanted something different, he's just going to scream like, yo, trips right, pivot, trips right, bam. He'll yell it. There's hammer. Like, we have these one-word plays. Stick. Our stick sign was breaking a stick.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to trick anyone. And I'm like, okay, so you can't hear anything. It's 4th down and 5. You get the conversion. You're on the 5-yard line. My immediate thought is, I can't hear anything. I'm going 3-by-1. I'm throwing to Justin Jefferson. Fade ball. Boom. It's better than spiking it.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Call whatever over here. You give one signal to Justin Jefferson. Throw the fade. If it doesn't work, which with him it usually probably will, it's basically like you took a 3-second play.
Right.
You know, but it's like instead we're sitting there holding our
Clock
ears,
is
Goofy,
ticking.
man.
I'm like, what
ticking
is
down,
going?
Amateur hour.
and then it's like we throw which would have been a sick play, like a really tight window ball. I thought it was the right read. He didn't really have many options. It gets tipped up. It's picked. And I just want to yank my hair out of my head because our undefeated run on Team Owen Wilson has now gone down the drain.
And I'm on fire. There it is. Hammer that thing.
You get what I'm saying? Where it's like you're in these moments.
I was watching.
You're Kirk Cousins.
But you went from having 2 plays to 1 by just letting it run.
Right.
And there's so many, like, this isn't like breaking news, but like for us, you just literally got to go up, call the formation, and you can look at Justin Jefferson. They'll have the same thing. We all do. And if you just point your finger down, 9 teams out of 10, that means a now route. So he just doesn't even run a slant, just runs in. And it's like, okay, we can try and paint this one on his body. Like, there's so many options, but okay, like right away, couldn't hear it. I'm just going my own way now. I've got a plethora of things I can run. And again, you're looking into it. I know I'm on a rant right now, but it's like, okay, we're inside the 5. Is this a man team? Is this a zone team? It's a man team. I'm running a fade ball because I think it'll be a 1-on-1. If it's zone and I'm worried about the fade, let's just run sticks to the left side or the right side, whatever side receivers are on. They're going to sit in the zone. I'm going to try and fire one as hard as I can right onto the outside number of TJ Hawkinson.
Right.
It's like, but instead we blow 15 seconds and then throw a pick.
Yeah, it was.
I love it.
Lukey, what do you think the Broncos, Sean Payton, do you think he kind of got a little bit what he deserved after the comments, or like is that just an overall mess?
1,000%. And you know what I thought was even more of just like, you talk about twisting a knife and just like turning it, was when Mike McDaniel, after he hangs 70, like pretends like he's a good guy and was like, yeah, I didn't really care about the record, like it's all good. It's like, dude, if you were a good guy, you could have stopped at 50.
Right.
Like,
I think it was more patronizing that he took a knee up 50.
Like,
hey, I got respect for you. If I'm Peyton, I'm like, dude, you better kick that ball. Like, you better set a record on our ass. And I was thinking, like, you guys were always FaceTiming me. I hope Nathaniel Hackett was FaceTiming Sean Payton last night.
Yeah,
because that's the worst coaching I've ever seen during the regular season. Peyton with his big mouth yelling and screaming about how awful Hackett is, you know, and Russ stinks, and Sean Payton looks awful.
Unbelievable.
Awful.
And the other thing that's crazy to me is this Denver defense. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not a top 5 defense, clearly, but they're not the bottom of the barrel talent-wise.
Right. They were good last year.
Yes.
And look, why are they continually getting their asses kicked? I said it earlier. Maybe all this talk, you got a lineman coming out saying, I've been here for 7 years, all we do is lose. You've got the mess with Hackett, you've got the mess with Russ, and now you got the mess with Peyton. Doesn't this heat start trickling up to the general manager saying, this is just not a good enough team, period, no matter what personnel you bring in here to try to fix it?
That is definitely, when you get smacked and put 70 points on you, it is a all-encompassing ordeal. And well, I saw that interview. I think it was Bowles, the tackle there, and I felt for him because he's another one who's a good player in this league. But I'm sure it's the same in every sport where when it's such a debacle, when you have all of those off-the-field issues.
Dude, that's a coming to Jesus moment when a veteran guy says, I've been here a long time and all we've done is lost. That kind of sets the clock where everyone's like, what the hell are we doing here?
1,000%.
And they traded picks to get Peyton. They traded a first and a second to get him out of New Orleans.
Imagine, this is sometimes where I think, like, this guy's in the booth collecting a check, and he thinks, like, hey, man, I'm going to go to Denver, take over the scene. And I mean,
Russ, all these things,
Russ.
fix them, you know.
That was a beatdown. And the next thing is
crazy.
Like, this is the NFL. I get that there are players that are better than other players, but everybody in the NFL is a great football player, especially those that start on Sundays. Denver literally went an entire defensive game without making one play. I mean, that's an aggressive. You get what I'm saying. Like, to give up 70, it's almost hard.
That's hard to do.
It's hard to give up 70 points in this league.
That's a college game. Like, that's Alabama versus, like, Eastern Tennessee State.
A Division III team or something. Like,
yeah, it's wild.
We were talking about it last hour. Last night, the Calgary Flames beat the Vancouver Canucks 10-0 in an exhibition game. But it's a 10 spot. You hang a 10 spot on a team. It's ugly.
Yeah.
But to give up 70 in an NFL regular season game, like that
means a lot.
It means a lot. Like that was
And
Canucks
only scored 20. If it's 70-48,
yeah,
you're like,
then
at
it's
least
a
the
wide
offense
open
was
game.
cooking. I don't even think that's possible.
Yeah.
But
Luke, what about the positive on it? Like
Plus
the
50.
Dolphins. Can the Dolphins be maybe the second version of the greatest show on turf, like the Rams, where they just took the league by storm and they were dancing on people and throwing touchdowns, and they ultimately won the big prize? Do you think the Dolphins can
They
pull
have
it
the
off?
ability, yes, O-Dog. And here's the thing we're not talking about yesterday. Jalen Waddle didn't play.
right.
Jalen Waddle is an incredible receiver in this league and is their number 2 option as far as their offense goes. And he's not even playing yesterday in the Hang 70.
Wild.
So where I go and what I think about, they call it the greatest show on surf, I believe is the term, like you said, where it's like you've got Tyreek, who's obviously, he's a cheat code right now. But the run game yesterday was also electric. I didn't even know their second back like that. And Mostert is flying around. Both those guys had 4 touchdowns. Not all of them were on the ground, a couple passes. But my point is, it's like if you want to focus on Tyreek, we have an incredible run game. You want to try and load the box up, we're going to bomb it over your head. Okay, you want to take away the deep ball and you think you've got a great D-line. You've got Waddle that can really do everything there. And even their, he's not like a star or anything, but their tight end is a very adequate tight pass catcher. Like, it's not like they have any issues if you try and take something away from them. And that's why I'm sitting here going, this team has got the makings, especially offensively, to make a very long run and be a Super Bowl contender.
Were you fired up about Travis Kelce's game on and off the court, on and off the field?
I'm fired up for him. I think it's hilarious. But I did find the whole broadcast thing obnoxious.
It was too much, right? Like every time they just...
Yes. It's like... I might be in the minority with this take, but I'm sitting there like Kelsey's touchdown, for example. He goes in. It was actually a great football play. It's a back end line. There's a lot of minute details that go into that route. He ran it perfectly. It was a high back 5 throw. They could have been like, hey, Patrick Mahomes, zone coverage, boom. Look at how he runs this. To me, it's preach a little bit about the game. We've got it up on the screen right now. That's literally a textbook play. Mm-hmm. This was to go up 41-0.
Yes.
Okay?
Disrespectful.
Look at Kelsey's mom. She's like, okay, we're up 41. Okay, we'll tap the mirror. She does a little golf clap.
Yeah.
We're chest bumping in the press box. It just reeked to me of trying too hard. It was so obnoxious. I'm like, okay, I'm happy for them. Whatever's going on, I don't care that much. We don't tune in to watch who's in the press box. That was a cool football clip. We could have won over the TD. We could have done a lot of cool things there, but instead we're watching nonsense.
Yeah.
Well,
she took over the whole operation. The problem is the Bears didn't allow them to show anything else. A lot of people are blaming Taylor Swift or CBS. Blame the Bears. Right? If the Bears had an operation that was borderline professional, you'd actually have to focus on the game.
Yeah.
Right? If you're CBS, if you're in the truck, if you're in the booth, you're like, it's 41-0. What else are we going to do?
I think they, in the U.S. markets, I think they gassed the game and went to some other one.
They probably went to Jeopardy reruns, dude. The Bears, I'm trying to figure out who is the most depressing operation in football right now. I think it's the Bears. It might be Denver, and it might still be the Jets because they can't stop moping around the fact.
Throw Jacksonville in that conversation?
Well, yeah. That was a pathetic loss.
That's bad.
That Doug Peterson, man. Give him the horn. Give him the horn, JP. Chew on that one, Dougie. Chew on, yeah, right in your yip.
The tugboat. That one's for Dougie and his visor, just crushing people's lives in Survivor. And I don't know, man. They don't look good.
But the Bears the Bears are the worst.
The Bears got to be the worst. They have to be the worst.
They're the worst operation in football right now.
They've got to be, in my opinion, because as much as I do think there's a lot of blame to be placed on Justin Fields, that whole operation looks horrible.
Man. They had visor guy there, Nagy, and it was a mess.
Yes.
If I'm the president of the Bears, I am crawling under my desk like Costanza right now and just praying that something turns around.
They're at home, I believe, next week to Denver. and they're a dog.
the garbage
They're a 3.5-point dog to a team that just got
I can't wait to
70.
see who chooses.
I was going to
That's
say,
coming up.
that's got to be on.
That's 100%. Yes, that's on the docket 100%.
Well, it's a coin flip to whoever gets that
I think
garbage.
you take the points. Personally, I think whoever's a dog, you're probably just going to say, I'll blindly take the points. But here, let me make the argument for why I think the Jets are the most depressing situation in football. Because they were 3 snaps into the season thinking that they were a Super Bowl contender.
I was on that bandwagon too.
And now on the 4th snap, they realize their season's over. And like next,
ridiculous.
it's crazy. Zach Wilson people are spitting teeth out at him. Joe Namath, I guess, is doing radio in New York right now. He's just destroying him. He's like, he stinks. Cut him. Get rid of him. This guy, you can't have him play anymore. And it's so depressing when you go from Rodgers in a Super Bowl pursuit to realizing your season's done and you got to watch Zach Wilson. And it also doesn't help that they're on primetime all the time.
Yeah.
They're playing, I think, where's it, in Dallas next or Kansas City? I think they're at Kansas City next week. And NBC was doing a promo for it. They didn't even use it. It was Mahomes and like Sauce Gardner. Like, that's the promo. You can't even put
not
Wilson
everybody
up.
can be Nick Foles when they come in out of like off the bench and
understand.
do that type of job, but it's got to be better than what this cat is doing.
What
Like,
I'm saying,
oh my God.
what I'm saying is the Bears were going to stink. Everyone knew they weren't winning more than 4 or 5 games tops. And Denver was not, I didn't think, going to be a competitive team. They weren't going to be this bad.
I agree. Yep.
But like the Jets were Super Bowl contenders.
If Aaron
and now they
Rodgers-
stink.
If Aaron Rodgers is playing, they're 3-0.
I think you're
That's
right.
a fact. If Aaron Rodgers is playing, they are 3-0. Right
I don't know
now.
if they beat the Cowboys last week.
I'm telling you.
You
this
think they
man,
beat
Aaron,
Dallas?
He's the 2021 MVP. Mm-hmm. Okay, we forget because last year was a little rocky for him that all of a sudden everyone wanted to write Aaron Rodgers off. This guy is one of the most talented players to ever play the game. Again, I want to rephrase that. Talented, not saying he's the greatest player.
Right.
But his talent is second to none. You know, his arm strength, his ability.
So if you are a Jets fan right now and had a choice, would you take Mark Sanchez back?
In his
Yes.
prime, the butt fumble?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, you would.
Wow.
The
You
butt
would take
fumble.
Sanchez back.
And Rex in his teeth on the sideline.
And
No
Rex
question.
Rex's teeth are out of control.
At what point does getting those jibs and
He looks like Ross Geller from
Yes,
Friends
like-
when he had his teeth done. They
Does he-
glow in the dark.
Yeah, it's like this is obnoxiously weird and white.
It's stunning. I was.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
stunning.
you got to do it. I did it. I
Yeah.
had brown bean teeth.
You look like you had Caber's teeth.
Yeah, I had little brown
Mustard
bean nuggets
sandwiches.
in there. They're just awful. And you gotta do it.
Yeah, but not to that extent. Dude.
Yeah, but Rex Ryan, they're like piano keys.
Yes.
and they're fluorescent.
They're
They're
the
fluorescent.
whitest teeth. Like my wife is in dentistry, and she will pick out veneers. They're veneers, I believe, is what they're
Right.
called. And she'll be like, "All right, those are veneers." Like she saw Rex Ryan a couple weeks ago and was flabbergasted. She was like, "I've never seen giblets like that. I've never seen someone go to that. That's like 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, give me the whitest, largest."
You think they
teeth
gave
you've
him a
ever seen.
scale? Like, how white would you like these?
Yes.
And he asked for
And he
like
said-
something that's not on the scale.
Find me something we've never seen before.
Oh, it's pretty easy when you get asked, how white do you want these? You're like, I want those to be the whitest damn teeth you've ever made.
Yes,
But
And
the
I-
biggest too. They're like horse teeth.
That's
they're,
the thing.
they're
He's got
like-
a lot of teeth in there. I don't blame him. Like, listen, if you're going to commit to it and invest, you might as well have teeth just popping. Because Rex is a big smiler too, right? Like he likes a good smile, so he's really exposing how white
I
those
missed
teeth
that guy.
are.
Remember he was riding the bike with his brother. Was that?
Yeah, that was Rob Ryan.
Yep.
Where
They
is
were
Rob
riding the
Ryan? Is he
dual
still
bike.
coaching somewhere?
I'm not sure.
He was he was in Cleveland for a while. I
Yeah.
thought he went back to Baltimore at some point too. But anyway,
Guys
Baltimore
love playing
losing.
for him. I'll say
They-
that.
yeah,
a lot of
he
guys
seems like
I
a
was.
great guy. He does seem like a great guy. I don't
yeah.
know him at all.
He's with the Raiders.
Wow.
Well, where was he last night? He should have tackled McDaniels when he decided to kick the field
my-
goal. What are you doing
The
in
Raiders
2023?
Suck, man. They suck.
You cannot kick the field goal there. You're not getting the ball back.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this thing. And here's where it comes down to for me. I'm watching. I'm like, to be honest with you, I was sitting there in the TSN room because I'm getting ready to go on, and I was thrilled because I'm like, they kicked his field goal and the spread is safe no matter what.
Right,
And
exactly.
Team Owen
I thought the
Wilson
same thing.
gets
Like,
a win. So I
exactly.
was like, kick it for me personally.
Yes.
But that being said, what was like shocking was at that point, you had not moved the ball well all game. Mm-hmm. The time you did drive the ball was the lone moments you had a little bit of a run game. So the idea that you would kick a field goal, get a stop, have them punt, and then have Jimmy G throw the ball down the field with TJ Watt, who's already been an absolute wrecking ball in the game, chasing after him, is insane. Like, you're already down there. The chances of you getting there
no chance
are very, very slim. Like, why not go for it?
It was flashbacks to the divisional game, Packers-Bucks. Remember when LaFleur decided to kick a field goal down 8? It was the same situation.
So I'm on a group chat with guys from Alberta, oil and gas company, Tebow, said they're huge Raiders fans. So it's like Raiders getting out-coached every game. Bad coaching time and time again. Deer in the headlights. Horrible coaching all the way through.
Yep.
Wow. Like, this is literally the group.
Yeah.
The
Freaking
group
out.
I get it.
Like,
Freaking
guys
out.
just losing their minds. Like they're...
That was one where if I'm a Raiders fan in this group chat, you got outplayed the whole day. You got outplayed. You didn't deserve to win. And then all of a sudden late, you're like, we might sneak out of here with an OT win. And you wouldn't even deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're down there. It's 3rd and 4. You got Josh Jacobs. You finally had a little success in the run game. If I'm McDaniels, I'm going, okay, we're running inside zone out of 11 personnel. Worst case scenario, we get 2 yards. Best case scenario, we get a first down. Maybe they're not expecting it's 3rd and 4. And we're in 4-down territory. If it's 4th and 2 now, you got the whole playbook. You can still run the ball, play action, quick game. You want to take an end zone shot. You got 2 plays to get 4 yards. Instead, you butcher the 3rd down, and then you kick a field goal. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Especially after they kick the field goal, and then the flag is thrown, which takes more time off the clock.
Yes.
Right. And it was just...
you do it again.
Insanity. Like, McDaniels... the Belichick coaching tree is almost extinct. Like, McDaniels, I don't think lasts much longer. Bill's getting, to the end.
Nothing.
I don't know what else
tickles
is
my heart more after spending a year with Matt Patricia to hear you say the Belichick coaching tree is getting extinct.
Dude, it feels like it really is. The leaves are falling, man. Quick. Winter is coming for Bill Belichick's coaching tree.
Well, they won yesterday.
They did because of Zach Wilson. They put 15 on the board. Mac Jones, he's not much better. He's better, but he's not much. 15-10.
And your Green Bay Packers won.
That was big. Down 17-0. That was, a shanked field goal, which he'll take.
Yeah.
Right? But Jordan Love's 2-1. They should be.
Like, it was.
It was tough field goal.
Lengthy, yeah.
But listen, Love punched one in himself. They're 2-1. They and the Lions 2-1. Everyone else 0-3 in the division. Like, setting up for a Packers-Detroit Lions kind of showdown. I
agree. I do think that the Vikings will eventually start winning. I don't know. Maybe I'm insane.
Dude, stop it.
Oh, no.
0-3 is a big hole.
Look at this team. They've got Jefferson, the new kid, Addison.
Yeah, he's good.
KJ Osborne and TJ Hawkinson. And I don't understand how they can't win football games. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's called number 8. Have a look.
Yeah, Kirky went in doubt. 0-3, Kirk Cousins.
Darling. And he's got a rocket for an arm.
Oh, my God. Like yesterday, he's in noodles. He's slinging it on time. I mean, boom, play action, over the middle, accurate, and just zip on the ball. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is incredible.
Yeah. They won so many one-score games last year.
Then all of a sudden, it's 1st and goal from the 6. Yeah.
RZ,
can't get a play call in.
You're a former athlete.
Yes.
You're my man. You're a man of integrity, and I'm still your pards, and we're going to rock tonight.
No question.
Okay. So
no question.
You guys are taking the points. Rams at Bengals. You are going to take the 3 points. And I'm laying them Eagles -4.5, right?
No, 5.5 now. Don't try and cheat the system.
Extra point in the last 15 minutes.
Give him the horn. Give him the horn.
You said 5.5 when you first made the pick.
Hit him, Grappler. Let him know.
I'm reading the lineup. What do you want?
Hit him with the horn. Hit him with the horn. Yeah.
Yeah, it stings when it comes at you, man. So much better to hand those out. All right, I'm laying 5.5. Eagles at Bucks. All right, boys. Good luck tonight. We'll catch you on FaceTime. I might answer tonight, too. I think I will. I intend on answering for you guys.
I bet you will.
I'll bet you I will. All right, there's Luke Willson. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app. All right, we have a pair of tickets to give away. Not hockey, not baseball, not basketball. Comedy. Some Jerry Seinfeld tickets. We'll tell you more about that later this afternoon, but tune in to find out how and when you can win those.
He's awesome. I've seen him only once.
Mm-hmm.
but he
Still
was,
grinding, man. Like Jerry, he's got to be 70 now, and he's still doing tours.
he's so rich too. Think of the amount of. I heard they offered
He's
him
70 years old.
I don't
Yeah.
think he's
Oh,
70.
yeah.
You
Oh,
think
he'd
so?
be definitely, if he's not 70, he's within, I'll say from 68 to 72. He's somewhere in that range.
Really? You think
That
he's
would be my
old,
guess.
eh? 69. There you go.
69.
69 years old. They offered him
That's outrageous.
$100 million to do one more season of Seinfeld, and he said, "I'm good."
I'm good. I have so much money.
It's unbelievable.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Imagine
They offered
turning
him
down
100.
$100 million. Said, no, thank you, though. I'm good. Thanks for that offer. I appreciate it, but I'm good. $100 million. Remember the interview he did with Larry King, where Larry was kind of intimating or asked him if he got canceled, like that's why the show came to an end, and he was
Beside
like shell
himself.
shocked. He was like, Larry, do you understand we were the biggest show in the world?
Yeah.
Do you think we got canceled, Larry? Like he was
That was-
absolutely floored by the idea that Larry King would suggest.
Yeah,
he got
Larry wanted.
canceled.
He
So
needed
that
to
show
take a
just
bogey.
ended because Jerry said that's probably enough of
Yeah,
that.
that's enough.
Wasn't it 9 years they did?
9 years. Larry David left after 7, I think. I think they did 2 without David, and then Jerry and company were like, we're done. Which makes you wonder if the rest of the cast were bitter, because they probably would have kept collecting the checks.
Of course, they were making zillions of
Exactly.
dollars.
But Jerry's got so much, he's like, nah, I'm out. Like,
they
that's
let-
got to be a weird conversation with, like, Julia Louis-Dreyfus and
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander, Michael Richards, where they're like, man, I'm making, like, $1 million an episode. Can we keep going here?
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
like, nah, I'm good.
No.
But they made a
Good.
bunch of money on syndication and all that.
I don't know
So
if the
they're-
other actors did, though.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry and Larry David definitely did.
Well, and then Larry went on to Curb, which
Which
is
is
brilliant too.
Not as popular, but I think equally as brilliant.
Yeah.
Phenomenal show.
yeah.
Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza, the best place for any family meal. Plus, for the month of September, kids eat free with minimum purchase when you dine in. So grab the kids and hustle into your local BP tonight. Asking the question online, should the Raptors go all in to acquire Damian Lillard from Portland? So the rumors are really starting to pick up. Really, really starting to pick up.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cooking. Like I saw Mark Stein was I believe saying on the record, he's hearing that the Raptors believe they have more assets than anyone else, and if they really want to get him, they can get him.
But why do they want him if he says he doesn't want to go anywhere but Miami?
Well, here's why. Because
Okay, tell
the
me.
belief was Kawhi didn't want to come up here either. I feel like this is his agent, who I believe is the agent for DeMar DeRozan as well. And I've seen some people linking the fact that the agent hates Masai because he felt like he screwed over DeRozan.
Right.
So there's a part of it that's like the agent said, no, not going to Toronto, not going to Toronto. And now rumors and reports are out there. Boston's in on him. Milwaukee's made calls. Chicago's in on him. So why are the other teams getting in? What, the Raptors can't do it?
They got to get in. but
I absolutely. Like, for me, I'm all in on this. I am all in on this. And I
So
know
why hasn't Miami put together a package that's acceptable?
Well,
Like, what am I missing here?
I think they don't feel like they have to because they feel like Damian Lillard's agent is basically doing their work for them by trying to shut down any other possibility by leaking through the media quite loudly.
Right.
Well, you
May I
still
add,
have to
that
put
he's not
something
coming.
together, Hayes.
Yes, you do. And I don't know exactly what Miami's put on the table. I'm sure they put something on. Clearly, it's not enough for Portland to jump. Portland feels they're getting shortchanged. So I have 2 thoughts on this. One, I'd be all in on Dame because I know he may not want to come up here. He's got a couple years left
Top-tier
on his
player,
deal.
though.
He's a phenomenal player. The East is not that great. The NBA is really not that great in terms of like super teams right now.
right.
You bring Dame up here, if you keep Siakam and one of OG or Scotty, I would think Scotty probably has to go. If you have Damian Lillard, OG Anunoby, Siakam, and some depth pieces, I think that's a top 3 or 4 team in the East.
Yeah, you think Barnes has got to go the other way?
Probably Barnes is going the other way. And, you know, a year ago, it was no dice, you can't do it. This year, I think there's some people around the Raptors that are not as high on Scotty Barnes today as they were a year ago.
Drawing a blank on the flashy draft pick from this year.
Oh, Grady Dick?
Grady Dick.
I
Yeah.
guess Grady Dick could be involved in something like that. But
Right? Because he's supposed to be a great shooter.
yeah, he is. And I mean, he's a first-round pick. I guess it's possible he'd be more of a throw-in. But for me, if you can get Dame and he shows up, and I believe he will, I think you challenge him to be professional.
Well, you get to a point where you're like, that's where I'm playing, so get over it and you got to show up and play.
Exactly. You can claim you're not coming all you want, but for me, you get in the dance, you go for it. It may not work out like Kawhi did. More than likely, it won't. It's tough to do that.
I would do it too, Hayes. It's so hard to get these elite talents. If this is your avenue, do it.
Keep in mind, though, guys, we have this conversation about the NBA more than any other sport on this planet. These guys dictate where they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's Harden that puts the fat suit on and goes, you know what, I'm not doing this and trade me out of here. We're seeing it more and more. So I think in theory it's great to go, we're trading for you, don't care, you got a contract, get up here and play. But a lot of these players can be disruptive.
They can be, and again, that's being leaked.
I
that
know.
He's going to be disruptive. It's going to be poisonous. He's not coming. And listen, if that happens and it blows up in your face, it's a terrible look.
Right.
Without question, in Messiah and company, they've got to filter that out. They got to figure out exactly what they're going to be dealing with. And it may be as simple as come up, give it a shot. If in a year it doesn't work, we'll flip you again.
Trade you, yeah.
That very well could be the case.
Give us 1 year.
Give us a year to prove to you who we are, what we're all about. And if need be, we can move on from you. You'd still probably retain some of the assets you gave up if you trade them a year from now. But the other angle to it is they may just be trying to make sure Miami actually has to pay for it, right? It could be a smokescreen. There's, again, reports that Boston's in on him, Milwaukee's in on him. If Lillard's coming east and the Raptors have a chance to make sure that whoever gets them has to pay more, that's smart business as well.
Yeah.
Like there could be an element of smokescreen here where the Raptors are leaking it through the media. Hey, we're in on this guy, and we're going to pay a huge price. Make sure that other teams have to boost their price.
Yeah.
But I also think at some point, like Damian Lillard's going to get challenged here. By all accounts, you're leaving Portland because you want to win.
Yeah.
So what, only Miami can win? Like that doesn't add up, right? Like if you really want to win, go, like if Toronto feels like they can win with you, what's wrong with that? If Boston feels they can win with you, what's wrong with that?
It's pretty
like, why
simple.
do you only
he
go
got
to Miami
chatting with
to
Jimmy
win?
Butler, and Jimmy Butler's like, come and play here. And he's like, yeah, I really want to. And that's the destination he got in his head. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, more than likely.
Sunshine Place, tax situation. There's a lot of...
It's a good setup down there. I'm not disputing that. But if you're all in to win, you can't suggest that only one team can supply you that option.
Right.
That just doesn't add up. It's clearly more than that. It's
He's
also
not the
South
piece.
Beach, the warmth.
Yeah, he's not the piece that makes them a super team. Like he's,
I mean, him and Jimmy Butler would be one hell of a team, but there's only one ball, right? If you keep Bam, which I believe they would, they're going to try to keep Tyler Hero. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this idea. If he's got 2 years on his deal and he's willing to come up here and play, you get 2 years out of Damian Lillard, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And to reset in the NBA, it can happen quicker. You bottom out, you drop down, you pick up picks, you accumulate.
Yeah.
Masai's always talking about a window and taking advantage of it. This could be a big window, right? Damian Lillard's up. He's got term left. If you feel like you got a good enough team to compete in the East,
be interesting to see if you can get it done.
I'm on board with that.
I don't know.
I'm on board with that. It's risky because it would be an absolute gong show if they traded for him and he refused to report.
Yeah.
Like that might be a fireable offense.
Well,
trade Scotty Barnes away and the guy doesn't even show up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you'd have to
turn. Well, you'd have to turn around and trade him to Miami anyway.
Yeah, but then Miami's like, you're screwed, man. We'll give you Kyle Lowry back. What are you going to get if you have to call Miami desperately? I think if that happens, you just tell Dame you're never playing again. Like you're going to embarrass us that badly. If we acquire you and you refuse to show up, fine. You're not getting paid. You're suspended. See you later. Like I think it's the only way you can operate if you give up assets to go get them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm on board with this, man. I don't know what the price would look like exactly. It would be expensive, but Dame is a stud. He is a stud.
Give Dame the horn, JP. Give him the horn.
Get him up here.
That's what you get for only saying Miami. Give him one more.
Yeah,
one or two.
All right, Chris Johnston coming up. CJ will join us in about 20 minutes. The Leafs are back in action tonight. And Orlando Franklin, good Canadian boy coming up, former NFL O-lineman. And he's out of Denver. He's living and working in Denver. He used to be a Bronco. Get his take on what the vibe is like out there. after they lost 70-20. That's exactly the vibe.
We got to ask
city.
CJ. The first thing we're going to do with CJ, we're going to play that noise and say, how would you spell that?
Okay. We can do that. He's a professional, right?
Yeah.
He's a journalist. He knows. He knows what's up. All right, so we'll get to CJ in about 15 minutes. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. All right, CJ will join us in about 15 minutes. The Leafs are back in action tonight. Their preseason home opener.
You think it'll be half full, 12,000, 13,000?
No, jam-packed.
Jam-packed?
Of course, people are dying to get to a game. People that can't go to a regular season game, I would suspect it's a full house.
Really? Yeah,
Of course.
I don't know if they sell out in the preseason.
I can't remember. But
the tickets are so hard to get. It's the time of year, isn't it, where someone's like, hey, do you want to go to this preseason? I don't know how the ticketing works, but it's everyone's chance that can never go during the regular season to slide in there possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you still get the bells and whistles. They still put on a great show down there.
Well,
you know?
and also, usually home games in preseason, they will dress a better roster. They didn't send the A group yesterday to Ottawa. So it sounds like the A group, some of them are playing tonight.
Yeah, it'll be a split. Like Willie was there last night. Nylander played a lot of minutes, and I'm curious.
I thought he was pretty good, Hayes. But I just wonder. I saw him break free and streak down the wing and get the shot on net with 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third. I'm like, that's what that guy is. He's just a guy that gets open ice and creates opportunities. He's not like that dependable centerman who's got stick position all the time. He's just a slasher, and he just gets open and shoots the puck. I kind of just think that's what he is.
Yeah. Now, to be fair to him, and I guess this opportunity to play up the middle of the ice, that's all he's had to do, and that's all he's been asked to do.
If he wants it, go ahead and do it.
Right. But what I'm saying is you got to give him an opportunity to build up some sample size to prove your theory. I'm not arguing against what you're saying. I think that's factual throughout his 7 years in the league.
Right.
Sure.
But he's been playing wing for 7 years. So I don't have a visual of him making a big play defensively up the middle of the ice with 3 minutes to go.
No.
We haven't had that opportunity yet to know if he can or can't do it.
We'll see if he can handle it. He was 50% in the face-off dot. He seemed all right. Everyone's like, oh, he's got great chemistry with Domi. It was 2 passes there.
Played one game.
Stop it. It just...
The one thing that's weird is the guy scored 30. Did he score 30 twice?
Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nylander hit 40 last year.
I know that, but leading up to that, was there 2 30-goal seasons and then a 40?
I mean, it would have been prorated because of COVID, but I think so. That sounds right.
Well, anyway, I remember scoring 40 and getting to training camp, and Paul Maurice saying, we think you're going to play left wing this year instead of right wing. We got to get Sammy Kapanen going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's great and everything, but what about what I did, scoring 40 goals playing right wing, and now I'm just not playing there? Are you insane?
Yeah, I'd love to be.
There's got to be some part of him that's like, I get 40 goals last year, and then all of a sudden I'm a centerman? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, centers get paid more.
Generally, they do.
For the most part.
Generally, they do.
You want X amount of dollars. I'm not even going to speak what he's asking because I don't know. And you look at Tavares' contract within the next 2 years is going to look different, right? So after he comes off the books, that's plus you're trying it. We've talked about this. There's no guarantee that he's going to be. I know what you're saying. Oh, you actually can speak to it.
Ray Ferraro has come out and said, we would love everyone to just have the 200-foot game. But the plain and simple truth of it is, some guys just aren't 200-foot players. And they're damn good at what they do, being 80-foot players, 40-foot players.
Right.
Not everyone's a 200-foot guy. That's where the buck stops.
I
on
get
this
it.
one.
Mm-hmm. I think he's.
But if he wants to put if he's capable and he wants to do it and do it well, he's fully capable. He's capable of a lot, and he's capable of this. But I don't know.
But it is a big responsibility in your own zone, and there'll be nights where maybe he turns away and you're like, didn't like that, but. He might also just embrace it and go, hey, I can be a good centerman. He's a good player, so talented guys can adjust.
And you got to be fair to Nylander. He's going to make mistakes, but everyone does. McDavid makes mistakes.
Yep,
Crosby makes mistakes. So it won't be fair to him if he makes a poor defensive play the first 3 or 4 games. He's, I knew it. He couldn't do it.
We knew it, yeah.
And then the next shift, Matthews does the same thing, and no one questions his capabilities of playing up the middle of the ice. I'm just curious, how long they're going to stomach the experiment before they either determine it's not going to work and he's going to move back to the wing, or
they like it.
They're going to stick with it. Exactly. Is that 10 games? Is it 20? Because camp isn't going to cut it. Like, if you're going to do this, I would assume he starts up the middle of the ice to start the season.
And
right?
if he's going to do it and take
think.
it seriously, there's one thing to do. It's watch clips of Patrice Bergeron. I think a lot about things differently than I did when I played. If you want to do this and do it right, watch clips of Bergeron. I don't care how long you played in the league, scored 40 goals or not. Watch that guy play center ice, because that guy was perfection as far as positioning. Yeah, so you want to be good, just have a look, take a peek. Easy to get the clips.
Nylander had 2 30-goal seasons before the 40 this year. So he scored a lot of goals. Over 100 goals in the last 3 years. All right, Chris Johnston will join us in the final hour. Orlando Franklin as well on the NFL yesterday. Denver really getting spanked down in Miami. And Jays are off tonight. They're back in action tomorrow. They get the Yankees in town, the Rays in town. 6 more games left to see what happens here. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050, soon to be up on TSN 2.